Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it's just me for this video. I promise we're going to do videos together sometime soon. It's just that it's very hectic here right now. So today we're going to talk about Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley has been cast in the audiobook version of Harry Potter. I guess a bunch of actors are doing a new audiobook version of it. She's playing Dolores Umbridge, which I thought was kind of funny. But now she's, coming under fire because somehow, like a lot of normies out there, she didn't know that she was supposed to not work on this because of JK Rowling. And so they're all trying to educate her. And then, of course, we can't have anything that's stupid and moronic without having, Rachel Leishman have to jump in there from the Mary Sue. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo. Woohoo! And we're going to talk about this. So Keira Knightley apparently was doing an interview, didn't even realize it was a thing. They said that when she was promoting her new Netflix film, The Woman in Cabin 10, she was questioned about playing a role in the new audiobook production of the Harry Potter novels. Okay, so there's like 200 actors playing roles. She's playing Umbridge. Decider asked if she was aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given Rowling's trans views. Because of course the media is, because that's all they focus on. Again, I want to point out, they tried this with, Hogwarts Legacy, and we know how that went. A bunch of them also got busted playing it anyway and trying to use codes to disguise they were playing it, because they still played it even though they were bitching about it. You had a bunch of media outlets, quote unquote, in gaming news that weren't even actually playing the game and giving it negative reviews, because it's okay when they do it. Just saying. She gave a very fair response, which was, I was not aware of that. No, she said, I'm very sorry. I think we're all living in a period of time right now where we're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions, and I hope we can find respect. Very fair, balanced answer. I agree. I think that, not everybody's going to agree, and that's fine. But there's this whole idea that you have to find a balance, and you have to, understand people with different opinions than you, and not just because you don't agree with one thing doesn't mean you're a terrible person. Like it was for decades. She's older, she's younger than me, but she's still like an older person, and she's, been around a while, and it's used to be that way. You agree to disagree. Like, hey, you didn't, I don't know who you voted for, but you voted, if I do and you voted different than me, then, oh, well, agree to disagree. And she's not even American, so whatever. And you just find common ground and then just move on. But no, you all need to be canceled if you don't do everything that the mob wants you to do. So the filmmaker from The Woman in Cabin 10, Simon Sohn, also said, I think that's right. I think that we have learned over time, unfortunately, that the unbearable voice in the room is something I think everyone needs to recognize, that they're the unbearable voice for someone else. The live and let live thing of like, oh God, your voice is very loud, I can't stand you. That's part of our lives. We all have hatred, deep hatred for someone in the universe, someone in the class. Let's reduce it to classroom politics. There's always a kid that we cannot stand. I think we'd all agree that we're that kid for someone else too. And unfortunately, all sides of the political spectrum are currently trying to shut that kid's voice down, but they don't realize the irony of the fact that they're also that kid for someone else. If we can have a memorandum on that and just let chaos live for a little bit, we might find our way out. Which is funny to me because he's basically like, how like you hate that kid in class because he's annoying AF? Well, to other people, you're annoying AF. So it's kind of funny to me because he's talking about the political divide, like the extremes. Because most normies don't even know anything about this going on. They don't even care about this going on. We only know about it because we cover pop culture and that kind of stuff. But unless you're on an extreme and you're constantly, looking for things to be politicized about and complain about, most people don't know, where they really just don't give a shit. I like Harry Potter. They're saying to themselves, I want to listen to the audiobooks. I don't care. If JK Rowling said crappy things, I'll just separate that, the work from the artist and move on. And I love this. It's like, you're all just screaming at each other, and you're going to have to learn to deal with it and understand that as much as you think you're right, somebody thinks you're wrong, and you're just going to have to get over it. And that's just what it is. I mean, I thought she was very diplomatic in her thing. I'm sorry to hear that people are upset about it, but we need to learn to live together. And that's kind of what people were saying recently, and I guess kind of what Emma Watson was saying now, after the fact that she kept throwing Rowling under the bus for attention for herself. And now she's like, oh, kumbaya. But this is Keira Knightley, who had nothing to do with the situation, saying it. Like, can we just like find a rational middle, basically, which is what we've been saying. But you can't have that. No, 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 because here comes Rachel Leishman, the Mary Sue, because she can't stand it. She has to stick her nose into everything 24/7. So, I love this. Keira Knightley misses the point about JK Rowling and the problems she's caused for Harry Potter. She is Harry Potter. I'm sorry, Rachel. It is what it is. Actors love to justify working anything Harry Potter related right now. While some are calling out the paychecks, others are pretending like they didn't know Rowling was using her wealth to hurt the trans community. Bullshit. She just basically said, hey, you mean a woman, there's a wish there was a word for person who menstruates. You mean a woman. Now, I think she is taking it to extremes as making it her identity, and she's over tweeting. But I don't disagree with everything she's saying. I don't agree with everything she says either. But, she has the right to say it. But this whole idiocy is saying that people, they know, they pretend not to know. No, a lot of normies don't know. A lot of people in the middle, no idea about it because they're not so politically pickled like you that it's constantly a point of contention. And I love it. They're talking about paychecks and taking money for it. I don't see you writing for free, Rachel, unless you are, because let's look at the Mary Sue right now. As here's the Mary Sue. MAGA is sinking. Time to stop the nonsense, Gavin Newsom. And there's like for every political or like for every pop culture or something that they used to be the nexus of pop culture, it's every other thing is, oh, here's JD Vance, here's Donald Trump. It's like constant. And oh, here's the thing about Texas Roadhouse because she wanted rolls and tried deviled eggs. A woman asking for a bag for a bowl. A California couple on what they caught on the Ring camera. This is what they're running with. A Lowe's customer finding out how much installation costs. This is the Mary Sue. The Mary Sue, which they claim is the nexus of pop culture and all this other stuff. No, it isn't. It's just whatever thing's going to get hits right now. They literally have big on the internet as a category now. Okay? Because they're desperate for attention. But back to Rachel Leishman's, little rant here. So they said one such party is Keira Knightley, who was cast as Umbridge in Audible's Harry Potter, the book, full cast audio edition. She faced pushback by fans for joining the series, mainly because many have boycotted anything Potter due to Rowling's views. Well, I don't see you boycotting Potter when you're trying to use it to get views for your blog. I mean, shouldn't you not mention it at all? If you don't want to make money on it, and you don't think people should be profiting or should be, Rowling should be getting a notoriety for anything of this stuff, why do you keep making videos about it or articles about it? Why do you keep making articles over and over and over and over again? You're profiting if people read these articles, right? You get paid if people read these articles, right? So Potter kettle there, Rachel. Potter kettle. In recent years, she's taken her wealth and used it to help fund pushes within the government to take away rights of trans people. No, she went to try to protect women's spaces. Whether you like it or not, I'm sorry. Personally, I think, there should be just like a bathroom that's like a general bathroom that somebody can use and feel safe, whether you're a male, a female, you're trans or whatever. And then you feel safe. If you don't want to go in another bathroom, you can go into that one. That's what I think. But she's basically using this stuff, to try to be like, hey, you shouldn't have, biological men and women's bathrooms because it's dangerous. And what happens is a lot of times, not even the trans people you have to worry about. It's people who are using I'm trans to go in the bathroom, even though they don't belong there. And unfortunately, that happens quite often and people get attacked and things. We also have pictures, and not pictures, but like stories of men were in women's changing rooms at the pool and were standing there butt naked, but they have all their male parts. And I'm a woman in the female changing room, so all the women can see their dick, okay? So there are some cases that, I can see you want to keep your kids safe. You want to keep your friends and your female family members and things safe, okay? F off if you don't like it, Rachel. I don't know what to tell you. Then there's that one that was over at Disney bathrooms, videotaping themselves in the bathrooms with kids and stuff in the background. I mean, there has to be limits, okay? There's got to be a way to help everyone involved and not put people at risk. from people who are going to misuse it. Anyway, back to the point of this. They're going on about, oh, she's just rallying to help stop, rallying from her vendetta against trans community. Many decided against supporting the franchise, which is their right. If you don't want to support the franchise, you don't have to. You have the right to do that. Okay. Harry Potter does get our money, so then Rowling doesn't get the money. Apparently, Knightley had no idea the boycott was a thing. She probably didn't, because most people don't, Rachel. And then they talk about what she said. And then there's like, someone funding the anti-trans movement is not simply a differing opinion. What Rowling is doing is causing incredibly harm to trans people who want to justify their role in the show by saying it's to help everyone live in a world where we can find respect. Yes, that's true. Because right now where we're at is a place where only certain voices are allowed to be respected. Only certain voices, even if they're the vast minority, are supposed to dictate the rules for everyone. I'm sorry. It's dumb. And I think she handled it in a very professional way, especially if it's the first time she's heard of it. She was put on the spot. I think she gave a very diplomatic answer. That was a very fair answer that, basically not saying that she agreed personally, but that we all need to find a way to try to, work together to find ways we all can coexist and get along, because there's too much division. Perfect answer. It was a very fair answer, especially, like I said, if she was just like kind of thrown at her and she honestly didn't know. It was a very well thought out answer, given that, you're put in the spot. But here comes, Rachel here yelling and screaming about it as she monetizes it. But, it's not, these actors making money on this is terrible. But it's okay when you do it, huh, Rachel? Hey, guess what, Rachel? I'm monetizing this too. And I'm monetizing your idiocy. Kiss my ass. It is what it is. At least I own it. But I do agree that people need to try to find middle ground. But there can't be a middle ground, as the other person says, when you're always all the time screaming at each other constantly. And you're the annoying kid that everybody hates. But yeah, guess what? So are you. Can I guarantee you, Rachel, a lot of people don't like you. And some of them probably aren't even straight, white, and male. Just saying. So anyway, there you have it. More drama around Harry Potter that frankly most people don't even give two shits about. Keira Knightley, like most normies, didn't know anything about it. And of course, the media has to educate them, gave a perfectly fair response. And then Rachel Leishman has to come in there like, nah, you can't. How dare you? How dare you? As they get paid to write about it. So, Potter Kettle again, Rachel. Sit and spin. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, there you have it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.